Hello again. Welcome to After the Fact, where I take a look at what went wrong, what went right, and where to go from here. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about the Olympus AFL-T again. If you haven't seen the first episode, go watch it. If you have, then keep watching this. I've had a little more time with the Olympus AFL-T, and I still really like it. It's good. But I do have some gripes and complaints that I wasn't really thinking of when I made the camaraderie episode. It all boils down to manual controls, and this camera has zero. Well, I guess unless you count choosing what focal length you have and actually pressing the button. I hope I don't have film loaded. I don't. Okay. It flashes if it needs to. It adjusts for ISO and aperture and all that fun stuff. Shutter speed and all that. Just based on what it thinks is right, which isn't always right. It makes sense for it to be this way because it was a consumer model. It was not designed for artistic use necessarily. You could argue that any camera is inherently artistic, but that's a different topic for another time. I've had moments with this thing where I want to be able to, don't flash, or just hold the shutter open a little longer so, I can use my steady hands to get the shot that I want with the lighting and the coloring that I want without flashing on everything and washing it all out and stuff like that. So I do really like this thing for what it is, but I wish it was more, if that makes any sense. And you may notice that I am not in my normal setup. Where I am right now is a jam space for a band that I've been doing a lot of work with. They're called Heads Up Penny. They are pretty awesome. They make cool music. They are my friends. And that's not the only reason I think they're cool. They are actually pretty good. Most of this other you remember back in the camaraderie episode for the AFL-T where I loaded that other roll of film in. This is mostly going to be talking about what I shot with that roll of film, and what I shot with that roll of film was this band. They're called Heads Up Penny. Go check them out. I'll put a link to their videos and their page and whatnot in the description. For right now, though, I'll show you some of the pictures that we got going on with that roll of film. We found this pretty awesome graffiti-laden concrete multi-level place somewhere around here, and it looks pretty cool on camera. So naturally, I brought my other camera, not this camera, but I brought the AFL-T along with me just to shoot some pictures, just because. Here we have them just standing there, playing music and whatnot. And you can see it gets the color representation pretty spot on. And it was a nice cloudy but still sort of bright day, so it had a nice even wash of light over everything. So everything was pretty much in focus. So there weren't really any issues there. It didn't flash or cast weird shadows or anything like that. Some of these, I don't know if this is... And this is why I want to get my own darkroom, so I can have total control over the development process as well as the actual picture taking process. But some of these do look a little green, I guess. I don't know. It's the same lighting, but you can tell, you can look between these two at Matt's jacket, and it I don't know. It's kind of greenish and gross in one of them. But, yeah, maybe that was something in the development process, or I don't know. But, yeah, and the fact that you can't control the focus at all also bothers me about the AFL-T. You have to consider the demographic that they were going for with this camera. And obviously, they weren't going for the artistic, control-oriented market. They were going for families that just wanted something to take vacation pictures with. And for that purpose, it works extraordinarily well. And even then, some of the flash isn't all bad. I try to stay away from flashes personally, just because again it does wash everything out and it blasts these weird shadows. But with this one right here, it's got a decent depth of field. It's nice and blurry in the foreground, and then it does have that weird kind of washed out shadow look to it. But that aesthetic can work for me, and it does right here. This is probably my favorite picture that I shot out of the entire bunch. It's just, I don't know. I managed to get a really good frame for it, compositionally speaking. You can see the different levels of the concrete. You can, makes a decent use of the rule of thirds. It just has a nice deep focus, and yeah, I don't know. I like that you can see a lot of the grimy bits of this environment that we were in. It does pick up small detail pretty well. It's not like the functions of the camera, the built-in designed functions of the camera, they work. So I can't fault it for that. I have mixed feelings, mixed emotions, I guess, about this camera. It's really cool. It's got a cool design to it, and there's just very little functionality to it other than taking pictures. The other day, I was going around looking for other cameras, and I happened upon another AFL-T, and it was actually in better condition than this one. This one's in good condition, but like it didn't even have any like surface scratches or anything. I wanted to pick it up. It was only $5, but I was like, I want it, but I don't need it. But it did have a cool case, and you know, it's got the Olympus brand on it, and it fits in here really well. And I was like, you know, it's got a nice buckle. I may as well get it just in case.